So hello everyone. I am Rosaline R. Laniba from BSed English 3B. So now I will discuss to you about literary appreciation and valuing in of prose. So what is prose? So prose is a form of writing or speaking that follows natural flaws of speech and grammar. It is written ordinarily metrical structure. Prose is a form of written language that follows natural grammar and speech patterns without the structured meter or rhyme found in poetry. Most everyday writing, like novels, essays, articles, and short stories, is written in prose. It focuses on clear, straightforward expression of ideas. So next, importance of prose. So in literature, the basic purpose of prose in writing is to convey an idea, deliver information, or tell a story. It is the way of writer, it is a way a writer fulfills her basic promise to our reader to deliver a story with characters, settings, conflict, a plot, and a final payoff. So the importance of prose plays a vital role in communication and literature, serving as the primary medium for expressing ideas in a clear and natural manner. Unlike poetry, prose follows the normal flow of speech, making it ideal for explaining complex concepts and telling detailed stories. Its versatility allows it to be used in various forms, including novels, essays, reports, and everyday writing. Prose also enables creative expression, helping authors develop characters, settings, and plots. Furthermore, it is essential for preserving knowledge and culture through written records, making it a cornerstone of both education and human connection. So next, definition of literary appreciation. So literature describes a variety of creative written or oral works of imagination. It also can be defined as imitation of life. It is an imaginary composition but not a faithful record of reality as history because it merely copies actual life, people, events, and situation. So, literary appreciation is the ability to understand, enjoy, and evaluate works of literature, such as poems, novels, plays, and essays. It involves analyzing elements like theme, style, language, characters, and structure to gain deeper insight into the writer's message and artistic techniques. Literary appreciation also includes developing a personal response to a text and recognizing its culture or historical significance. So next, great values of literature. So here is the list. First is the entertainment, mastering of English language, emotional relief, social control. Literature also functions as a means of direct experience. Next is literature mirrors life. Literature is a reservoir of culture. Literature serves as historical document or social document. Literature is also a means of education and enlightenment. So next is literary appreciation. So according to Ogden Leo in 2006, literary appreciation refers to the evaluation of works of imaginative literature as an intellectual or academic exercise. In this process, the reader interprets, evaluates, or classifies a literary work with a view to determining the artistic merits or the merits of such a work. While Donaldson and Nelson in 2009 stated that it is the process by which one gauges one's interpretive response as a reader to a literary work. This means that the reader is able to gain pleasure and understanding for the literature, understand its value and importance, and admire its complexity. Literary appreciation focuses on the adequate grasp of definition and application of the following which may be encountered within text. So here is the traditional literary devices, which is plot, character, metaphor, setting, and symbolism. So next, Margaret's early stages of growth in literary appreciation. Stages which readers go through are added onto without dropping the previous stages. Thus, literary appreciation is a lifelong process. However, occasionally students are ill-equipped to handle transition from childhood literature to adolescent literature and fail at establishing literary appreciation. This may occur as a result of a student's late or early cognitive maturity. As future teachers, we must understand that in order to appreciate literature, students must experience pleasure from their reading. So here is in Donaldson and Nielsen in 2009, the seven stages of literary appreciation. So the level 1 is pleasure and profit. Literary appreciation is a social experience. Level 2, decoding. Literary is developed. Level 3, lose yourself. Reading becomes a means of escaping. Level 4, find yourself. Discovering identity. Level 5, venture beyond self, going beyond me, assessing the world around them. Level 6, variety in reading, reads widely and discusses experiences with peers. And last, the level 7, aesthetic purposes. Avid reader appreciates the artistic value of reading. Genre in literature, fiction and nonfiction. So here's the types of nonfiction. Narrative nonfiction is information based on the fact that is presented in format which tells a story. So number 1 is the essays. Essays is a short story literary composition that reflects the author's outlook or point. Second is the biography, a written account of another person's life. 3. Autobiography gives the history of a person's life, written or told by that person. 4. Speech is the faculty or power of speaking, oral communication, ability to express one's thoughts and emotions by speech, sounds, and gesture. 5 is the general genre of nonfiction. This is informational text dealing with an actual, real-life subject. This offers opinions that conjectures on facts and reality, such as biographies, history, essays, speech, and narrative nonfiction. So next is the genres of fiction. So the first is the drama. This genre is stories composed in verse of prose, usually for theatrical performance, which conflicts and emotion are expressed through dialogue and action. Second is the poetry. The art of poetry is rhythmical in composition, written or spoken. This genre of literature is for exciting pleasure by beautiful, imaginative, or elevated thoughts. Third is the fantasy. It is forming of mental images that strange or otherworldly settings or characters, fiction which invites suspension of reality. 4 is the humor. Is amusing or comical, full of fun, fancy, and excitement which mean to entertain and can be seen to contain within all the genres. So the 5 is the fable. is a story about supernatural or extraordinary people, usually in the form of narration that demonstrates a useful truth. 6 is the fairy tales or wonder tales are kind of folk tale or fable. 7 is the science fiction is one of the genres of literature that is set in the future or on another planet, either actual or imagined. 8 is the short story is fiction of such briefness that is not able to support any subplots. Next is the fiction is a story that can be actually happen and is true to real life. 10. The folklore is widely held but false and based on unsubstantiated beliefs. Next, historical fiction is a story that fictional characters and events in a historical setting. So next is the horror is an overwhelming and painful feeling caused by literature that is frightfully shocking, terrifying, or revolting. 13. The Tall Tale is a humorous story with blatant exaggerations, swaggering heroes who do the impossible with a air of nonchalance. Next is The Legend is a story that sometimes of a national or folk hero. Legend is based on fact but also includes imaginative material. Next is The Mystery. It deals with the solution of a crime or the unraveling of secrets. Anything that is kept secret or remains unexplained or unknown. So next is the mythology is a type of a legend or a traditional narrative, historical events that reveals human behavior and natural phenomena by its symbolism, often pertaining to the actions of gods. So the last is the fiction in verse is full-length novels with plot, subplots, themes, with major and minor characters. Fiction of verse is one of the genres of literature in which the narrative is usually presented in blank verse form. So, lastly, the elements of each genres. So, the elements of fiction is plot, setting, and other setting is conflict, symbol, point of view, and theme. And next is the elements of nonfiction is the point of view on and character development. And next is the elements of nonfiction, which is the point of view. So the character development, narrative, and dramatization. So that's all my part. So thank you for listening. I hope you have learned something from what I've discussed. Thank you so much.